Hi, I'm Dr. Louise, and I have a question for you. What is going on with the nation's thyroid gland? Because I think we're in the midst of a massive thyroid epidemic, which is not just hidden anymore, but is absolutely global in terms of its impact. Even though it's suggested that only 4 out of 10 of us may have a low thyroid gland, I am finding with iodine loading tests that just about 90% of all of us have something going on with the thyroid, and I highly suspect it's a deficiency of iodine, which is the key mineral that the thyroid uses to make its hormones. So what are the symptoms of a low thyroid gland? Well, outside of weight loss and the inability to metabolize calories properly, there is a litany of symptoms that are associated with low thyroid. So let me read you just a few of them. Low thyroid is associated with depression, with hair loss, with poor eyebrow growth, especially thinning of the outer third of the brow. It's associated with dry skin, with irritability, with aching wrists, with fluid retention, with constipation, with a coarse voice, decreased blood pressure, and premature graying of the hair. It's also very important in terms of being an important element in terms of the heart as well. So the thyroid gland is one of the most important glands of your body, and its lack of production in terms of the proper amount of hormone is absolutely critical. So the question is, what is going on in our country dietarily that is impacting the thyroid? So I'd like to suggest to you several things that are going on. Number one, we're not eating enough iodine to make the thyroid hormone. That's number one. And number two, even if we were, there seem to be a lot of elements in the environment that are displacing iodine, and so we're making a false hormone. So, what are those elements that displace iodine? Well, there are a group of chemicals called halogens, of which chlorine, bromide, and fluoride happen to be the top 3. And interestingly enough, years ago, we used to be able to get iodine in our breads, but since they substituted bromine instead of the iodine, which was used as a conditioning agent in the dough, we're not getting any more iodine in an average piece of bread. So since we need, according to the RDA, at least 150 mcgs of iodine a day, many of us are not even getting that minuscule amount. When we have done tests with our iodine loading tests, we are finding that at least 90% of the entire group that we test is iodine deficient. That means that over 90% of us are not making sufficient amount of thyroid, so we're not burning off calories efficiently, number one. Many of us are depressed, many of us are irritable, many of us are losing our hair, have dry skin, have constipation. And beyond all that, many of us are also having heart problems of which the thyroid is connected. So, what do you do for this problem? Number one, you get rid of anything in your environment that contains fluoride, anything that may contain bromides, and that is apparent in some of our soft drinks, as well as many breads in this country. And then, of course, there's the chlorine in the water, which can act as a thyroid inhibitor. And so what you need to do is to get a good water filtration system that'll get rid of both the fluoride and the chlorine. Well, there'll be more about thyroid and the thyroid hidden epidemic just a little later on. So what I'm going to tell you right now is get rid of the fluoride, get rid of the chlorine, check all of your sodas. As a matter of fact, you should probably get rid of most of them because they have that bromide ingredient which can displace the iodine in your thyroid. So at least we've got to give our thyroids a fighting chance. And in so doing, we will overcome the obesity epidemic, which is now a global concern. So this is Dr. Louise saying get rid of your fluoride, get rid of your bromide, and get your thyroid in gear, and do it now.